the previous video, we learned about the 6 substances in the universe. Specifically, we concluded that our awareness, beliefs, emotions, and feelings of happiness arise in consciousness, which is a separate substance from our body, which is matter. The first question that naturally arises is, how did the universe and these substances come into existence? Especially in relation to ourselves, where did we come from? Understanding how we came to exist will also offer clues on the future. Answering this question is extremely important for managing our stress because all living beings are naturally concerned about themselves. Let us assume for a minute that a powerful supernatural entity created everything in nature. This assumption raises more questions, such as 1. Where did the raw material for the creation of everything come from? And 2. How did the supernatural entity come into existence in the first place? In general, the 2 most common answers are 1. The supernatural entity does not require any raw materials. And 2. The supernatural entity has always existed and it cannot be created or destroyed. However, if there was no raw material required, that means something was created out of nothing. This is a gross violation of the principle of conservation of mass and energy, which states that matter or energy can never be destroyed or created. It can only change form. This makes perfect sense. All the other proven and well-accepted principles of modern science would collapse if this principle were violated. Therefore, in order to uphold the conservation principles of science, we must accept that all matter particles in the universe existed since time immemorial, and they will continue to exist perpetually, although they continue to change their states at every moment. The Jain point of view is in agreement with the scientific principle of conservation that Budgal, matter or energy, is eternal and cannot be created or destroyed, but it is continuously changing its states. In fact, Jain philosophy extends this conservation principle to all 6 substances in the universe. All 6 substances in nature are eternal, can never be created or destroyed, and are continuously changing their states. They have existed an infinite time in the past, and they will continue to exist an infinite time in the future. The concept of infinity is well accepted in mathematics and theoretical physics. However, it may be quite difficult for some people to accept it as an embedded reality of nature. Every moment, the present state, or buddhi, of a substance gets destroyed, while a new state emerges, but the permanent qualities of the substance remain as is. For example, ice cubes turn into water when they receive heat. Water becomes vapor when it heats up past its boiling point. Thus, water continues to change form while still being matter. Can we ever develop any method through which we can completely destroy the matter or energy? This is simply not possible because it's against the laws of physics. This conservation of substance remains the only valid, rational, and consistent explanation about the existence of all 6 substances. Now, let's try to understand how we exist as humans. After conception, a human starts growing by receiving nourishment from its mother's body. After birth, the body continues to grow by acquiring nutrients from the environment. These new cells are transformations of food, water, and oxygen. Even though consciousness is a separate substance from matter, it still follows the same principle of conservation. It could not have been created and must have always existed just like matter. The body matter disintegrates back into its surroundings after death. These particles simply change their form but don't get destroyed. Likewise, consciousness cannot simply be destroyed but changes form. So where does consciousness come from prior to birth, and where does it go after death? We will answer these questions in future videos. However, knowing that our consciousness survives and continues to exist should bring some relief for those who might be worried about losing one's existence with death. Around the 1st century CE, the great Jain Acharya Kundkund documented this principle of conservation of substance in his treatise Panchastika Sangra and Pravachansar. After learning about the conservation of consciousness and matter, you may be wondering if an entity controls our consciousness and the matter around us. Do you think they are controlled by such an external agent, or do you think they function independently? If someone else controls us and our emotions, then how do we prevent and counter stress? In the next video, we'll discover the most intrinsic common properties of the 6 substances. These properties will eventually allow us to determine whether ourselves or our circumstances are responsible for causing stress. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.